Hi.
Hi, Paul.
It's Paul.
I'm Tim.
Doing a thing?
We're doing a thing.
We're doing a you thing.
It's a me thing.
This one's been on the playlist for a while.
Yeah, so this came up because we were talking about the band Sponge. And Paul's like, I know their 2 songs. I was like, they had a 3rd song. And this came up because a good friend of the show, Ryan Young, who is in 37,000 bands, but you would have seen him on this channel in our Dear Forbidden video.
Okay.
Which I guess we should link at the end.
We can.
One of his bands, I don't remember which one, he's literally in like 7 bands, opened up for Sponge.
Okay.
So that was the reason we were talking about Sponge. I'm like, Ryan Young, great guy, he's opening for Sponge.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But then we were talking, and I was like, oh, you don't know the other song? Well, I'll play it for you, and you will know the song, and then cross that off the list. So.
Yeah, and then it got put on our watch later list. And
Yeah. He opened
then we started using our watch later list and got buried.
You especially
I don't want to hear it this week, man. This week, you dropped like 15 songs on the playlist.
Isn't that better than when I used to be like, oh, right, I have to do that every now and again? I'd just be like, oh, I don't know what we're listening
I'm just stating because you were ready to throw me under the bus about like adding music, and you just did all of that.
It's not so much the adding the music, it's pushing everything down and not putting it back.
I have been reordering.
You are a better person now.
Yeah. Anyway.
3 weeks ago, Paul was a douche.
Month ago.
You really gonna argue over a week?
Yes, because a month sounds better than 3 weeks.
Okay.
So this is Wax Ecstatic.
Wax Ecstatic. I'd argue this is the 3rd biggest Sponge song. If I'm wrong somehow, let me know, because then I don't know a thing.
Okay.
But I like this track. So, right. And you like the other 2 Sponge songs that you know, so this shouldn't be anything bad for you.
Okay.
Here we go. It's just 2nd album. Lead single, I want to say. It's fun.
That driving guitar.
Yep.
Very much sound of the time.
Sure. Their look. Late 90s look.
It's not bad.
I feel like you're doing enough airplay at the time.
I don't know if that's how you're supposed to deal with fish bills.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It reminds me of a lot of that era.
Sure. There was a lot of good music in that era.
There was.
There's also a lot of bad, but that's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed them. I thought they were just a good rock band, you know?
This feels like a song that should have gotten way more play.
I agree, but...
Or maybe it was just, unfortunately, too close to other songs that were similar sounding, and then it got buried.
This would definitely be later 90s, and rock music in general started to get buried.
Yeah.
And that's probably a part of the problem. I don't know exactly
that might
which
be
year.
Also, yeah.
If this is 97, 98, because I think their first album was 94, maybe, 93, 94. I could be
I could see that, because, the late 90s, it really did kind of...
I could be wrong. If their first album was more 96 and this is more 99, that would definitely probably be the case, where it's like, they're overshadowed by
NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
NSYNC, all of that, plus Blink-182. They're like, MTV controlled a lot of what we saw at the time.
Yeah, if this was during that TRL era, then yes, I could see it very much.
They're like, we have one rock band for TRL. It's Blink-182.
Or Foo Fighters.
Or the right. So.
Or it's just like, no, you don't get two.
Yeah. It was weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But they go where the money was, and the money was not in rock at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Outside of Blink and Foo Fighters.
For whatever reason, too. Like, when you think about it, it's like they're fine. There's nothing wrong with those bands.
When was Sum 41?
That was, like, a little bit later in the 2000s.
Okay, so yeah.
Like
so there was, like...
4 and 5, I want to say.
So, like, it probably feels like pop took over, and then Foo Fighters and Blink kind of ushered that back in. We got the Sum 41s and the...
Pop punk was part of
pop
it.
Punk.
The emo stuff is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was like a weird mix of like the actual Midwestern kind of emo sound, or the mall emo as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
MCR, Fall Out Boy, all those things
Panic.
will come later. Yeah. So, rock was at a weird place, and there was only so many actual factual rock bands I feel that got airplay, and I think this song's great.
Yeah, so far it's really good. I like it.
Where does it rate on your spongeometer? I'm not going to keep doing that to you every video.
I don't know, because like I can't remember the two Sponge songs
Dang.
right now.
Sorry, Sponge.
Sorry.
Well, let's keep it going. It's like the feel of it. It's so driving, you know? I like how it kind of goes into it and doesn't go on.
Yeah.
Once it starts going. Right here.
It's a good song. Yeah. I think unfortunately it just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, we're helping people rediscover it now. We shifted from alternative, I should say.
Yeah.
This is very alternative.
This is around the time we started using alternative songs.
This rips.
Mm-hmm. It has a very like bad taste in my back my throat.
Good.
Because like, you ever had a relationship with pop? You can't get that taste out of your mouth.
Sure.
You're burping out that taste for like a day. And then just popping those pills open, it was just like, yeah, like my brain is like.
So yeah, the shift from rock to alternative, it was interesting. It went, some of it went punk with like the Green Day, because it was all alternative, and then it ended up going punk. Some of it was the start of nu metal. Some of it was more pop punk stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, because Green Day was still in that mix pretty heavily.
Green Day was there. Red Hot Chili Peppers would have been there. They're kind of a bridging kind of band. Foo Fighters.
Yeah, like your Californication was probably big on that.
It would have been earlier than that. It would have been Warped. It would have been My Friends. It would have been the Navarro album, or One Hot Minute. It would have been that. And people would have still, like, some people don't like that album, but like you still paid attention because the album prior was amazing. Okay. Arguably their best album ever.
Okay.
So they still had a lot of clout. But yeah, alternative was just kind of fading away.
Yeah, I think this is around the time of Y100 died too.
Yeah.
At least in our area.
Yeah. Some
So
of the
like,
stations.
yeah, so a lot of your stations started to kind of fade. You started to get your butt rock stations that are kind of like staying.
So like butt rock's kind of like the evolution of this though. Like bands like your I think of bands like Puddle of Mud came out.
Okay.
Bands like what was the fucking one band?
Hit PE?
No, they were too new metal and they had the rap influence.
Okay.
3 Days Grace.
Okay.
Breaking Benjamin would have been coming out at this time.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that are getting play on like at least college radio is starting to build up and start a groundswell.
Typo negative.
No. Nope.
No, okay.
Well, they come from the thrash world.
Okay.
They came from the thrash band Carnivore, which I don't know. Maybe one day I'll make you listen to that. You'll be like, oh, all right, let's go back to typo negative. But yeah, it's interesting. Let us know what you think killed Sponge. But I think this song is amazing. I think it's good. You can argue if it's their first, second, third best of their singles that should have got a lot more play. And let me know if there's some good Sponge beyond this that I just don't know. Because I don't know a lot of Sponge beyond
never know.
this. I'm sure there is. Just let me know what it is and we'll get to it.
So yeah, like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Catch me out on Capes and Scowls. Catch me out on Campfire Ashes, their podcasts.
They are.
You can find them on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, wherever you find your podcasts. And the links to the original video, as well as our merch links on our Patreon, will be in the description down below.
That's right.
So yeah, Sponge.
That's right.
No bad. I liked it.
Bye, Angelina.
Catch you next time.